using something special called a thinking routine. And we use this all the time when we do our See, Think, Wonder. You remember See, Think, Wonder?
Yeah.
Okay, we use this. This is what a thinking routine is called. Put on your thinking head, your thinking caps. Let's do a quick brain gym. Thinking cap. Pressing my ears. You can do it with both hands. Pressing, pressing, pressing. Okay, not slapping, but pressing your ears, Ethan. Like this. Pressing, 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 pressing. Track of the speaker. Okay, we are going to do a thinking routine using feathers called parts, purposes, and complexities. Those are some really big kid words, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, what does parts mean? What does parts mean, Natalie?
It means that you do something and then you take a minute for that and then you do something else.
Okay, you can do things in parts. Excellent. What does the word part mean?
It's like something so like you make it something in a pot and something different.
Okay, I'll ask you a different question. How is a feather made up of parts? How is a feather made up of parts? Hunter?
Because we have these little
Okay, so there's different things that have a purpose, that's our other word, in the feather. So if you're not looking at me, maybe you're not going to be able to do this investigation because you won't know what to do, okay? So all eyes should be on me, not on shoes, not on Crocs, not on anything else, okay? Only on me, okay? You can just leave that for now, okay? We'll put it away. So everything has a part, like a word has a part, a feather has a part, and everything has a purpose. That means it's important to the item, to the thing we're going to look at, okay? So your job today, and then the last thing is the word complex, which means how does it all work together? Do we know?
No.
No, but when we investigate something and look at it closely, we will find out more and more, okay? So your job today is going to be, yes, Adora? You're not understanding what I'm saying? Okay, that's okay. When we get to our small groups, we will make sure you do, okay? So really what we're going to do today, thanks for asking that, is we are going to look at some feathers very closely, and you are going to have these special little papers that have some of your words on it, okay? Rachis, barbarel, booklet, a little book, the barb. So you're going to have these at your desk. There's a couple of them. There's this one. There's this color page. I know, it's always nice to have something in color. One thing I learned is there's a whole nother word we never even learned. This part of the feather is called the vein. This part of the feather, the long part of the feather is called the vein, yeah? Okay, it is a real one. And then here is one that is going to show us, we've learned all these things, what kind of feather it is. Is it a wing feather? Is it a down?
That's a tail feather.
Is a down feather? A tail feather? You recognize some of them. Remember the contour feathers? These are semi-plume.
Oh yeah. Semi.
We do not have these two feathers right now. We just have those four feathers.
Which
Okay?
one? What are those?
That's right.
What are those?
These are bristle and phyloflume, and they are, you rarely find these off of a bird. You got to have a bird to find them because they look like little sticks and they kind of absorb in the environment. They get lost in the environment, okay? Okay, so you're going to have at your table all four of these. You're going to have feathers and you're going to have some microscopes, okay? Get it?
Got it.
So at your table, you're going to be working together like ornithologists and looking closely, and we're thinking about our thinking routine. What are the different parts? What are the different purposes? And then afterwards, we'll talk about how do they all work together to be complicated, to make it complicated, okay? Because feathers are pretty complicated, aren't they? Yeah. Don't you think?
Yeah.
I don't think they're that simple. Feathers are pretty complicated. at the end, after lunch, we're actually going to be sketching the different feathers with the different parts. So we're going to be drawing them, because you're great artists, and we are going to be putting them in our bird picture book. But right now, we're just going to be looking closely, talking with our other ornithologist friends, and getting down to the basics, okay? Parts and purposes. Say after me. Parts and purposes. I say parts, you say parts. Parts? Purposes. Okay, that means what are the parts and what do they do? Okay, Rome.
When are you going to put all the pages of our books together?
Not for another few weeks, okay? We're going to still make some more. And this is going to go in your book, but we're going to do the drawing part after lunch, okay? All right, so Miss Becky, if you could, we're going to put kids on that table. We're going to have kids over here, 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 and here. I'm going to mix your groups up this morning, okay? So you're not going to sit at the same table you normally do. All right, and then Miss Becky and I are going to come around with the feathers. Get it? Yes, no, hey. Oh, you want to get it? Okay. All right, so coming to...
Look at it. Really fun to swap. I can't see anything. Can I send you? Can I see the Yeah.
Here's some more. I want to hear you using some of the ornithologist words to describe. Did everybody get it at least? Okay, so look, you're not being careful with your feathers. All right, I'm coming over to see, what are you talking about? What are the parts?
Look at the eye, the eye. Oh my god. Oh, look at mine. The rake is white.
What do you see?
The rake is white.
The rachis is white. Oh, did anybody else notice that as something?
My rake is green.
You have a green
There's like
rachis.
a peacock feather on here.
Oh. Can you identify which feathers you have by looking at your feather?
Can I see?
Can you see the different parts, Ava?
Yeah.
What do you see? What kind of parts do you see?
I see, like, oh, it looks pretty cool. Rainbow on, like, this one a little bit.
What do you see on this other little one right next to you?
I see, like, kind of stuff, which is nice. I got a very pretty and stripy.
And do you know what kind of feather that is? Look at this one.
This is a tail feather. That's so pretty.
Look at this one.
We supposed to share.
Yeah, sharing the feathers.
Oh my.
Oh yeah, and sharing that one too. Yeah, share. Let everybody get a chance. What do you-
It's so pretty.
It's so pretty. Yes, looking at a feather. Don't put your finger on the lens. That's what we look through. What do you see, Ethan?
Look.
What is it? Can you describe it with ornithologist words?
It's white. Wait, I think this is the bar?
Oh, do you see the barbs?
What? I made it.
Wow, can you see the barbs too?
Oh yeah, I can see them.
Can you see the barbs?
This beautiful white blue.
You can see the beautiful blue.
I want to see him. Look at mine. Frankie, look at mine. Oh, it's like the same as mine, right? Yeah, but mine is more darker. Can I try it, Hazel? Those are germs.
Okay, I heard somebody saw the barbs. Have you guys seen any barbs?
I saw red.
You saw the rachis?
I saw rachis on my feather. I saw the square. Look at this.
All right.
Let's see this. Can I borrow?
What do you have?
I have this.
Can you describe what you see?
It's like. Whoa. It's like you gotta see this.
You can see the hooks. Excellent. Excellent.
Whoa.
Looking closely at things.
Can I try that one? You can see this. I'm trying it. Oh my God. Whoa.
What do you see? That's whoa. What do you see?
Mine looks like it's a
Can you
tiger.
describe it in ornithologist words?
Mine looks like a tiger's back. I found lines. Oh, look.
You found some lines. Okay, good. Can you? And then, okay, the lines you found. Are they wove? They're kind of woven together, huh?
Whoa. Whoa, you gotta look at this. This is whoa, you go.
All right, here we go. All right, now that you've looked at it closely, I want you to try to talk about which kind of feathers do you have on your table? Which kind of feathers? Miss Becky gave you. And how do you know? How do you know? Okay, so which kind of feather is it? Tail feather, okay. Tail feather, okay. Which kind is this? Miss Becky gave you a picture. You can figure it out. Which kind is this? Yeah. And you couldn't fly with that, right? Look, if you try it one side, yeah. It would never lift you up out of the air, but it would be special to see, right? Okay, that's the picture. That's a tail feather, yeah. No, that's a tail feather. And the reason you know, but it's actually a tail and contour. Look, it has this. And so it's going to be like here, but it's going to be close to the body. That part, the fuzzy part's going to keep you going. Okay, you don't ever put them on.
I saw the hooks and no, not the rachis.
Okay, let's let Alice answer because she had her hand raised really nicely. What?
The word up there.
Oh, the barbs?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Okay, we're gonna wait. We're gonna only raise our hands. So Alice saw the hooks. You said hooks and the barbs. All right, nice. Okay, what did you see, Ethan?
The barbs.
Okay, you saw the barbs. Okay, great. What did you see, Olivia?
I saw the hooks and the barbs and the rachis.
And the rachis. I'm going to add that one, the rachis. Okay, raise your hand if you saw that rachis pretty clearly. Nice job. All right. Do we call the whole thing the rachis?
No.
Oh, what is the bottom part called? Zoran?
Quill.
The quill. Did you see the quill? Okay, we're going to put the quill. Remember, Q always has a buddy, always. Q-U-I-L-L. Never doesn't have that buddy. Okay, great. You're going to have to sit up, buddy. Crisscross applesauce, thank you. Mila.
I saw the Bible.
She saw the barbels. Oh my gosh. The bar, that would be hard to see, but that's great you saw them. Bar. And I think I spell it with a U. Sorry, barbels. Yes.
I saw one of the
He saw the color, which is a part of the feather, because color helps us tell what kind of bird it is, right? You never see a yellow peacock, right? You always see a blue peacock. Okay, yes, Rome.
I saw.
Excuse me.
I saw green and blue.
Okay, you saw colors also. I'm going to put the word S, which means a lot of different colors. What did you see? Okay, just move up or move back. You can make a choice there. You can Move up, Hunter, for me. 1, 2, 1, 2. Thank you. Maybe one more. And then you move back one, Doran. Thank you. Matai, what did you see? Oh yeah, it's gonna happen. They're flying all over. Ella, what did you see? We're talking about what did we see?
I saw lines, straight lines.
Oh, she saw lines. That is definitely part of the feather, the lines. Hazel.
I saw in the line you were eating.
You saw it?
The line you were eating.
The lines were not even.
So
Ooh.
it's the wing feather, and it's the one that I found.
Uneven. Okay, that's probably. So you saw uneven lines. Okay, and Ethan.
By my shoulder.
Okay, sorry about that. Okay, Kahana.
I saw the wings and I saw the hooks.
You saw the hooks and the rachis. Okay, so we have, raise your hand if you saw the hooks. Okay, that's pretty hard to see. Raise your hand if you saw barbs. Excellent. Rachis. The quill. The barbels. Okay, that would be a hard one to see. I haven't seen the barbels yet. How many of you saw different colors? How many of you saw different lines? And how many of you saw lines that were not the same? They were uneven. Good. All right. So those are definitely important parts to a feather. Do you think they all have to work together?
Yeah.
Can you have like just hooks and rachis?
No.
Never. You have to have all those different parts for a feather to be a feather, but also to help the bird survive. Okay, later after lunch we're going to be drawing a little bit, but you did a great job investigating. I think I'll give you 2 class points for that. All right, guys. All right, so we're going to continue with, thanks for being in crisscross applesauce. Cook's Hookup is perfect. We're going to continue with, we are using this thinking routine. Remember, see, think, wonder is a thinking routine. This one was called parts. Anybody remember?
Parts of the feather.
Parts of the feather, right? Parts. Anybody else remember what purpose is? What is it used for? And now we're going to go to this very big word. How is it complex? What does that word mean, complex? Anybody know? Ethan, can you track the speaker for me? How is the word complex? Does anybody know what that means, complex? Okay, any guesses? Give a guess.
It means it's a word part of a bird sentence.
No, but that's a good guess. What do you think, Bodhi? Complex. How is something, what does that mean when it's complex? Almost. Okay, I'll tell you because this is a hard one. You want to give it a try? What do you think it is? Okay, something goes on top of each other. Okay, yeah, that's kind of a good guess. Yes? Huh? No, not board. Okay, the word complex, tracking the speaker, Mr. Ethan, means that it has lots of different moving parts that go together that make it work. So it's not like super simple. It's not simple. Everything in our lives is complex, right? Isn't your jacket complex? It's got a zipper. It's got fibers that are woven together, and then it makes something that you can actually wear, okay? Do you think your hair is complex?
No.
It is complex because your hair comes out of a little hair follicle, and your underwear is made out of your underwear is made out of fabric. So fabric is lots of little threads woven together. It's complex. It's not like super simple, okay? So please stop, okay? Thank you. I would hate for that to be what you're not going to really remember what we're doing, okay? So I'd like to be look at Mr. Hunter, Star Child, in Cook's Hookup, okay? Or I can think of something else for you to do, which during explorations you will be doing this with me. So you can work hard now or later, okay? Ella, what do you think complex means?
I just want to tell you, can I put my watch away?
Not right now, okay? So you can give it to me. Okay, so when we look at a feather, how is a feather complex, huh? How is a feather complex? If we know that complex means it's kind of puzzly, has a lot of parts. It's not really simple. Yes, Madeline?
How it's complex is because it's layered and then it shows up the layered part.
I like that. So she just said, and she gave a great because. So let's use that word because. It's complex because, and tell me what you're thinking. Like, why did you say that, okay? So the feather is complex because it's got a lot of different layers, okay? Is there another way that the feathers are complex? Ella?
Are they complex because that's the part of the bird?
Okay, they come from the bird, okay? And why did you say, though, that it's complex?
Because it's a size.
Is it all one size?
No.
Oh, they're all different sizes.
Yeah.
That makes it complex, okay? Think about that. Is it complex that those feathers come out of the bird's body? Do you think so?
Yes.
Do we have feathers?
No.
So is it complex that those little feathers come out of the bird?
Yes.
Yeah, those feathers aren't just, they're not flying around and they stick on the bird. They come out of the bird's little body. Like the little bird body knows.
Like hair.
It's just like hair, knows to make these cool little feathers. Okay, so if we look at a feather, and you guys drew them, okay, Rome and Ethan. Rome, you're gonna sit on that chair over there and face us, and then I'll just take a little bit of time during explorations also, because you just made a different choice. So right here. And then Ethan, good, that's exactly what I'm looking for, tracking the speaker, okay? Great. All right, so if we look at that feather, remember you drew all these feathers, so you know what are some of the complex parts of the feather. Anybody have any ideas? Yes, no, hand. You can use some of the words some of the language of the discipline of an ornithologist. What's a complex part of a feather? The rachis is complex. Do you know where the rachis comes from?
Feather.
But where does it come from? Like,
Bird's body.
it comes from inside the body. And you know what? A rachis is just like a fingernail. It's made of the same stuff as a fingernail is made of. So do you think all those feathers are, let's say the baby bird's this big. Do you think all of his feathers are already formed?
No.
No. So just like your fingernail, it has to grow inside that little body. And then it comes out, and they call them feather shafts, I believe. I'm not totally sure. What do you think, Bodhi? How is this feather complicated?
The bubbles.
The barbels. Thank you for using the words, okay? The barbels. The barbels are tight together on the feather, okay? How about something else that makes it complex? Hazel? The barbs. Okay, great use of words. Okay, the barbs, the barbels. Yes, Ethan? Okay, no, you don't have to worry about it. I'm just making it. Frankie, got any ideas? Look at those feathers. Think about what you drew. Was it a simple drawing? Okay, Ivory had a really cool drawing here. I'll just show hers. What do you notice makes the feather complex? Natalie?
On that one, it's layered.
It's layers. The feathers all have layers. Great. That's complicated. Okay, what do you think, Frankie?
When you want to gently pull the feathers apart, make sure not to whip the feathers.
Oh, right. You were talking about when we separated the feathers. What were we looking for when we separated those feathers?
The
What?
rachis.
We were looking for the rachis. We were looking for the what?
Quill.
The quill. We were really trying to see, yes? Go ahead. The hooks. We were trying to see the hooks. Are the hooks complicated?
Yeah.
Totally.
I saw 2 of the hooks.
Do we have hooks in our hair?
No. Yeah.
No, we don't. But hooks are really a complicated thing. I always wonder, how does the hook know where to go? Are they on every feather?
No.
No. So how does it know which feather to go on? What do you think?
I don't know.
Okay, that's okay. Ethan. How does the hook know where to go? How does it know how to form?
At which side?
And which side? Yeah. Are hooks on all feathers?
No.
No. Which feathers are they not on? Hazel.
Tail feathers.
I think they might be on a tail feather.
Like the peacock feathers.
What is the purpose of the hook? Does anybody know? No, hey, I want to guess?
Is it too wide?
Yeah, some of the tail feathers, if we looked at the peacock tail feather, he doesn't have any hooks, right?
Yeah.
But this is a contour feather. This one probably has hooks because what does the hook work to do, Ava? Makes it a complicated thing. The hook works to what?
The bird's body. Wing.
Well, the hooks help the feather become, oops, I lost my thing already. The hooks help the feather, if I were to draw this, and let's see, where is a hook? It keeps this part of the feather together, okay? So the barbs, the barbrioles, and the hooks keep that part of the feather together so that, where is it going to show up? On the wing and on the tail, okay? And it might show on half of the contour feathers because this is a contour with all the fuzzy guys on the bottom. But the fuzzies, the down feather and the bottom of the contour feather do not, or the semi-plume do not have hooks, okay? Because their little feathers, everybody go like this. Their little feathers are just flying around. They're not hooked together. So that's what makes that hook really important, okay? So, yes, Madeline. Well, go see if you can find Miss Becky, please, okay?
Why is there a line on top?
Oh, we're going to write the word feather. Thanks for asking. Yes, Ava.
How do birds grow their feathers?
Ah, good question. I do not know, but I think that's something we should explore. How do the feathers grow? Okay, that's a complicated thing. That would be a great example of something complicated. It's not like, well, they just grow. No, there's got to be something inside those little bird bodies that is complex that makes it grow, just like our hair. There's something going on in our scalp up here that makes our hair grow over and over and over. So, yeah, go ahead.
The feathers don't grow like a leaf or a sunflower.
They don't grow like weeds or sunflowers. You know, that's a really good point. Because if, I really like the way Olivia's just sitting there quietly and cooks hook up, not swinging her arms or anything. So the feathers take a while to grow, right? Have you ever seen a baby bird?
Yeah.
What does a baby bird mostly have? What kind of feathers? Does he have wing feathers yet?
No. Yes, tiny feathers like that.
He's got, what do you think, Ethan?
Yes, tiny feathers. He can't fly yet.
Okay, and so his tiny feathers are probably a lot of the down feathers because what's really important for a baby bird? To be what?
Warm.
Be warm, okay? So then, after this, something else has to grow, right? So these guys fall out. Do we find them all over the campus? Yeah, we find these feathers. You guys have brought me hundreds of down feathers. Yes, we find the down feathers everywhere because they fall out really easy. And then what happens? Who comes next? What kind? Yes?
Listen, let me tell you, growing feathers is just like growing your teeth.
Yes, growing your rachis is like growing your teeth. Yes.
The teeth are inside of you.
They're inside of you, yes.
Like the feathers are inside.
They're all, well, the idea of the feathers is inside, yes, in our genes, the idea of it. But they're not all grown up yet, right? Because then the bird would be like kind of weird looking if he had all of his feathers grown, right? So as he grows up, just like you, your teeth are going to grow, their feathers are going to grow. What? Why don't they just keep on growing and growing and growing and growing and growing and growing until they're like so long they can't even do anything? Do you know?
Because if they're little and they have too much, and if they have long feathers, they would look weird.
They would look weird, but what is complicated about it? Look, think about your own teeth. Our teeth are like our feathers in a way. We use them. That could be. What stops our teeth from getting like this long, like a bunny, like, "Mwah." What stops that, Ethan?
I know an animal is so gross.
Okay, we're not talking about that. We're talking about feathers, or you're even thinking about your own teeth. You know what stops it? Yeah, Frankie.
Other birds take necks from other.
Okay. Not, yes, okay, good. So what keeps our teeth from growing that long is that our teeth are only programmed to grow a certain length. So after they get to a certain spot in our mouth, they stop. And that's all dependent on our mom and dad's teeth, our own teeth, well, really our mom and dad's teeth, okay? Where we came from tells us how, so a little baby chicken is going to only grow a certain amount of feathers, and he's only going to grow them so long. A sparrow is only going to grow a certain amount of feathers and only grow them so long. The eevee bird or the honey creepers have a beak that's only going to go so long because their mom and dad had those feathers, okay? So it makes it kind of complicated when you start thinking about things, yes?
One time I saw the baby bird and the mom was with it, and then the bird fell down, and then for some reason it already grew its feathers.
Oh yeah, that happens too. Feathers grow very fast, yes.
What are Nene feathers? Are they down feathers or?
Ah, good question. Does anybody want to guess the nene? Let's think of all birds are kind of the same. The nene, what do you think? What kind of, we could, if I could find my, let's draw it out, okay? So that's a great question though. We have the nene. Oh, of course I picked the one that doesn't work. Okay, let's get a couple, I'll get a couple of colors to try to demonstrate. Okay, so remember we have all different kinds of feathers on a bird, right? So we have the actual little bird, and I am not a great drawer here, but this is a nene. I'm drawing the big black feet, okay? So there's my nene bird.
And these are feathers.
Okay, so underneath, towards this, underneath, towards the skin, what do you think is there?
Down feathers?
The down feathers, the little fuzzy ones that keep him warm, okay? So I'm just going to draw these like little fluffy ones. These are your down feathers, okay? They're not really down feathers in the wing, okay? Okay, then what do you think is on top of the down feathers? Which one can you guess? Let's look at this picture. Which one do you think it is? Luna? The contour feathers are on top of the down feathers, okay? The down feathers are always kind of changing, okay? So here we go. We've got a feather, and then I've got my contour. And remember in our little video we watched, the contour feathers usually have the, anybody know? What do they have? Yes, Orange. Contour feathers usually have
Down feathers?
almost. How do we tell different birds apart? What do they have that's different? Ella?
Fuzzies.
Fuzzies, what do you think? Yeah, not quite. Nohea? Colors and patterns. So the contour feathers are where you're going to find the colors and the patterns, okay? So this whole bird is covered with down first, then on top of it, contour, which has a little bit of down and color and ones that are close together. And then after that, we've got these don't have, these are your tail.
Wait, why do you look like a block?
I'm just drawing a feather, buddy. Okay, those are my tail feathers. They have the rachis, the barbules, the hooks, because they're keeping, please keep your shirt on, okay? They're keeping all of these things together. And then what do the wing feathers have? Who can guess? Who can guess? What kind? Wing feather. Why don't you go find the Stampy, okay? Because I asked you not to do that, okay? we're trying to use the language of the discipline. They have a rachis, right? And then they have the feather that is stuck together because he's going to use them for what?
His down feather?
What are the wing feathers used for?
Flapping.
Flapping and catching the air. So they're the ones that are real tight and they're together, okay? So birds have all these different feathers, okay? So, some of you are going to get to color your feathers. They look amazing. And some of you are not going to get to color your feathers right now. You'll have to do some reading activities with me. Yes?
Are we going to use clay pots or crayons?
No, we're just going to use crayons today to color our feathers, okay?
But
Yeah, because the cray pots get really messy sometimes, okay? Right, one of the things that we've been doing with our feather investigation is sorting feathers by their characteristics. And so I would say that all the students in the class can sort a feather by either a flight feather, a tail feather, contour feather, semi-plume, or a down feather. And so that was one of our classroom activities that was an extension of our parts and purposes lesson. For drawings that we did, we had feathers in front of us and we had some vocabulary that we had learned. But for kindergartners, I would say these are the things I was most proud that they could do, is that they could draw something and label it using great language of the discipline or the language of the ornithologist. And this student, for instance, is a student that cannot read or barely write yet, but her artistic skills really came out. This is another student who has very little language, mainly because he speaks another language first, but his ability to draw and sketch is pretty incredible. All of these students really were able to capture the complexity of a feather in their sketch. So that was amazing to me.
yeah, is it trying to be like
I love how you're really looking at all the details. You're really taking your time. I like it. You are true ornithologist.
Miss Hopkins, can I draw one more feather? Can I draw another feather?
Yes, you may add to your, you certainly may add to your feathers if you feel like you want to.
Miss Hopkins, I found a blue feather that's inside.